guys, Willy here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Willys 4xe.
And a big thanks to Mike at Furman Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram in Newport Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Newport Richey, Tampa, Clearwater area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And that's for Mike.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Wrangler has been Jeep's compact and mid-size four-wheel drive off-road SUV since 1986. Prior to that, Willys, Kaiser Jeep, and AMC produced the CJ, which is a civilian Jeep from the 40s all the way through the 80s. Basically just a civilian version of the World War II military Jeep. For the company Jeep, the 4th generation Wrangler that you see here was released in 2018. For 2023, not much has changed outside of the new Freedom Edition and 2 new paint colors. The Rubicon also gets new 17-inch rim designs. We have 13 trim levels for the 2023 Wrangler and 3 different power plants, starting with a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, cranking out 285 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. You can upgrade to the PHEV that we have here, which features a 2-liter turbo mated to an electric battery and an electric motor, which cranks out a combined 375 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. The top power plant is a 6.4-liter Hemi that you get on the Rubicon 392, which cranks out 470 horsepower and still 470 pound-feet of torque. Trim level wise, we start with the Sport with a base price of $36K, all the way up to the Rubicon 392 with a base price of $83,000. But here we have the Willys, the 4xe Willys with a base price around $40K. According to this window sticker, it's about $54K for the base price. So there may be a mistake somewhere. Let me know in the comment section where you guys find out. But according to the website, this car starts around $40,000. What else we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So first thing we notice is the black and white contrast. The Willys is outlined in blue. The blue accents are for the 4xe. We have full LED lighting, projector up front for the high and low beam with an LED daytime running strip right outside. The Willys trim gets these mud-ready all-terrain tires. They're 32 inches. The Rubicon gets 33s and the top trims get 35s. But these 32s are still more than aggressive enough off-road. We get a locking rear differential. No locking differential up front. If you want the locking front diff, gotta go for the Rubicon. But overall, I'm still really liking this SUV with the two-tone contrast for the fenders. There is an available option for body color fenders. We just don't have it here. Options though, this vehicle is pretty much loaded. We have the Sun and Sound package, which gives the one-touch retractable roof and pop-out rear windows. We'll check that out as we continue this review along. We mentioned the full LED headlamps for the high and low beams, black trim for the grille area, black steel bumper with the blue accents, LED fog lights too, LED daytime running light. The hood, as you mentioned, says Willys, which is outlined in blue. The wheel and tire setup, we get these mud-ready 32-inch tires. The tires themselves are Firestone Destination all-terrains, the dimensions being 255/75 R17. So the only real difference compared with this and the Rubicon is the Rubicon gets 275 or 285 wide tires, while here we just get 255s, but there's still a really aggressive mud-ready all-terrain tire. More blue outline Jeep badge. Wrangler is also blue in the lower corner. Trail rated 4x4, also outlined in blue. Charge port, hopefully we can check it out without unlocking anything. We can. Here we have the level 1 charger. You can also upgrade to the level 2 charger. I believe it's a $600 option plus about $600 for an electrician to actually install it. Otherwise, you can just use the fast chargers that you see all around malls, gas stations, so on and so forth. Continue along though, we mentioned these doors are removable. We got a truck unloading something over there behind us. I don't see anything to unload, but I guess he's gonna load something up. It's making all sorts of noise. We'll hop inside in 1 second. Unlike the Bronco, the mirrors are actually a part of the door. So once you take the doors off, you lose all functionality of the mirrors. This windshield, you can actually unbolt it and drop it. So you can drive without a windshield, without a roof, and even without doors. The only problem is without the doors, you're not gonna have the mirrors. Speaking of the mirrors though, they're black contrasted. We don't get blind spot monitoring standard on the Willys. They're heated outside mirror though, which is nice. Black trim for the window trim. We don't get smart access for any of the doors. We mentioned the rear windows can pop out. I'll show you guys that towards the end of this review. Gas cap is not push to open. I'll show you the latch is inside. The taillights are not LED, neither is the reverse light 4xe badge in the corner. Blue accents all throughout. Full-size spare tire, but what you see is basically what we get. One thing I mentioned is on the right side, we have this electric four-wheel drive badge specific for the 4xEs. We can't rev up this plug-in hybrid. We can get a good look at the exhaust tip, trailer hitch. I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly what this Willys Wrangler is rated to tow. Hopefully you get a good idea of what the suspension looks like, but that's about it, guys. Let's pop this front hood, take a look at the power plant, and I'll catch back with you in 1 second. All right, guys, there's no latches inside to open up the hood. To open up the hood for the Wrangler, you have to actually do it all from the outside. It's kind of a funky process, especially one hand. Hopefully I can figure it out and show you guys the overall process. There we go. And lifting it up, we have an additional latch down below. I guess that's safe in case it unlatches itself while you're driving. There we go. Figure it out. Here you have your 2-liter turbo, made it to an electric motor and battery, cranking out a combined 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, enough to get this off-road 4-wheel drive SUV to 60 in the low 5-second range, maybe even in the 4s if you get a good launch. This thing is quick, and it's also really efficient. You can get up to like 30-35 mpgs combined here, 20 mpgs with just the gas motor. But what you see is basically what we get. We can shut this hood right down, take care of the latches too. Hopefully I can figure it out with just one hand. There we go. Up, there we go. Cool. We'll take one more step back, get a good look at the exterior styling, check out the side profile of this pretty menacing off-road capable SUV. And for a Willys, for a vehicle with the base price around 40,000 bucks, this thing looks awesome with those mud-ready all-terrain tires. Interior-wise, again, this is a value trim. It's one of the lowest trims you can get on the Wrangler. Let's see what we get for that money. Up top, well, we'll turn these headlights off to auto so it's not just yelling at me. Pretty basic door panel, to be expected considering that it is removable. We have an aluminum door handle, hard plastic up top, padded armrest, a little bit of storage with this cargo net down below, lock and unlock, and the mirror adjustments on the door panel, which is actually odd. The 4 Bronco mirror adjustments are somewhere in the center, whereas the Wrangler has it actually on the door panel itself. But the window controls are in the center, just like the Bronco. The seats here are cloth, to be expected with the low trim. They're fully adjustable. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the seats with lumbar control too. Taking a step inside, we can really see what's going on in this 2023 Wrangler Willy. So foot on the brake, engine start stop, and everything fires right to life. First thing we notice is the steering wheel. It's pretty thick. We get a little 10-2 bolstering notch, not much. It actually exists though, unlike the Ram trucks with a non-existing bolstering notch. 9.3 reminds me a little bit of a Grand Cherokee. Doesn't really cut out very well for the backs of your fingers. The horn area is rubberized. The horn itself, pretty aggressive sounding horn. People should definitely be getting out of your way. On the left side, voice commands. You can answer and hang up your phone calls, adjust the infotainment. Cruise control on the right side. It's not a radar cruise control, but it's still nice to get cruise control standard here on a low trim of the Wrangler. Infotainment adjustments, as we mentioned, right now we're looking at a speedometer, vehicle info, tire pressure, off-road, energy economy, hybrid info, and a trip info 1 and 2. Songs that are currently playing, messages, screen setup, and right back to where we started. Beneath that, the vehicle information, you can see the coolant temp 2, trans temp, oil pressure, hold OK to reset, and a voltometer, all appreciated features. Off-road, we can see that, pitch and roll. Average fuel economy, you can also see the current MPGs, we're not moving, so 0, hybrid info, range to empty, efficiency coach, charge/power, and the eDrive mode. Trip info, A and B, audio, messages, screen setup. My personal favorite to look at all times would be the speedometer. On the left side, average fuel economy, range, battery range, and the gas level range. The TAC goes to about 6,000 RPM. On the right side, we have our power to charge ratio with our fuel level to the left. The stocks have a satisfying resistance to it, or click to it. We have auto headlamps, no auto high beams, not really a big deal. No auto rain sensing wipers either, but the adjustments are all on the right stock. On the left side, auto headlamps, interior brightness, gas cap release, and our hybrid, electric, and e-save modes. Latch for the tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Hopefully you get a good look at the pedals. Dashboard is also all hard plastic material. We get the 8.4-inch touchscreen though. We get navigation too. You can press view map and check it out. The response is good. It's not the best, but for almost a base Willys trim, this is still more than good enough. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a surprisingly good sound system, which we'll see once we step out back. We can adjust between media, climate, controls, apps. And speaking of controls, actually, let's check out this backup camera real quick. You press the backup camera button, really good resolution, miles ahead of the Durango we just reviewed in this channel. Guidance lines and trajectory. We don't have front parking sensors or anything, but this backup camera is really impressive. We can close out of here, see all the apps that we have available. Hopefully you can pause, take a look at all of those. Navigation, phone, and the overall settings. You can see everything that we have available. Great. So my personal favorite to look at all times would be the nav, so we'll leave it there. Engine start stop. Volume and tune dials have a pretty satisfying resistance, and they're rubberized on the ends. They kind of feel waterproof too. Fan adjustments in the center. We have dual zone automatic climate control. Beneath that, 12 volt media chargers. We have aux, USB-A, and USB-C port. The front windows are auto one touch for the way down, but they're not auto one touch for the way back up. The back windows are not auto one touch at all. 4 auxiliary modes, a little bit of storage in front of the gear selector too. 4-wheel drive modes, we have 2 high, 4 auto, neutral, and 4 low. The gear selector controls the 8-speed automatic transmission. We can take a quick look at the backup camera again. Again, perfect resolution. Manual shift controls are in the proper directions to upshift and to downshift. So we put this thing right back into park. Behind that, 2 cup holders. You'll fit 24-ounce cups with no problem. A nice little phone slot in the center with the pushy things to keep the cups in place. Real emergency brake with some camo inlay underneath. The armrest is gushy soft leather. We can open up the storage space. The first tier, not the most spacious, reserved for car accessories, pens, and business cards. The second tier is very spacious. You'll fit 4 2-liter bottles of soda in there, an additional USB-A port. Nice. The glove box, you can pull this latch. It is damp, not lined with felt, and not very usable. It's tiny. You're not fitting any license plates in there, but you'll fit a pair of shoes in there if you're under a size 7. It's a very deep glove box. It's just not wide at all. And my unit of measurement for glove boxes is license plates, so you're just not fitting it width-wise. Shoes you'll fit though. We get an O-crap handle too. That's nice for the off-road drivers driving like a maniac, and it's labeled Wrangler. The dashboard, as you mentioned, is all hard plastic. We get a frameless auto-dimming rear view mirror though. That is nice. Passenger airbag assist, SOS, not quite sure why I have to go over that, but I'm gonna go over everything. 3 garage home link settings, rollover warning, and an auto one touch roof. Check this out. You press this auto button, the roof completely folds away, exposing essentially a convertible top for the 2023 Wrangler. Check this out. It opens up surprisingly quickly. There you go. Boom, like all the way out into the cargo space. You have basically a full convertible Wrangler now with a click of a button. Beautiful day today in Newport Richey. It's sunny and 86 degrees. I'm gonna leave the roof open so when we hop out back, you can see how much light is brought into the cabin and the open air experience. That's about it for the front seat. Before we hop out back, let's take a quick look at this window sticker. So as you mentioned, when I looked up on the website, this vehicle starts around 40,000 bucks, but not according to this window sticker. You guys can pause, take a look at all the standard equipment. The options here are impressive though. The convenience package for $695 gives us remote start and a universal garage home opener. $1195 for the trailer tow package with the auxiliary switches, 700 amp maintenance-free battery, class 2 receiver hitch, 7 and a 4-pin wiring harness. The big package, $4,100 for the sun and screen package, giving us the 8.4-inch radio group, Sky One Touch power top, 115-volt auxiliary power outlet, media hub with 2 charge-only USB ports. You connect 4C navigation with an 8.4-inch touchscreen, remote USB port, charge-only, GPS, emergency assistance, removable rear quarter windows, rear window defroster, rear window wiper and washer, and a power top quarter window storage bag. After about an $1,800 destination charge, total price, according to the sticker, sitting at 62,000 bucks. Fuel economy, 49 combined MPGe, 20 MPGs, gasoline only. As far as charging, it's estimated with a level 1 to charge in about 9 to 11 hours. With a level 2, you can expect to get a full charge in about 2, maybe 2.5 hours. So level 2 makes a huge difference. I'd recommend investing in it. If you live in an apartment building, obviously you can't, but hopefully your apartment building has a fast charger on site. The rear door panel is hard plastic for the frame, but we still get a padded armrest, cargo net, and aluminum door handle. No electric at all on this door panel. As we step inside, you can see the cloth seats. Pretty spacious. It says 4xe down below in the corner. Legroom, I am a little bit over 6 feet tall. It's a pretty tight squeeze, but comparable with a lot of other mid-size SUVs. My knees have about half an inch, maybe an inch. My head, it's tough with the roof here, but probably about an inch or 2 before it would start to touch. If you're over 6'2", it may start to get a little bit cramped back here, but if you're under 6 foot, 6'2", you should be perfectly fine. We get air vents back here too, the window controls, and an additional AC outlet. 2 USB ports too. You just gotta lift this cubby up, USB-A and 2 USB-C ports. Nice high quality feature. We get matte pockets behind both of the front seats. The interior lights are LED and 2 booming speakers directly right into your face in the back seat. And as you see, perfect view, even out back, basically a convertible top here for the Wrangler. I think this is almost a must-have package because I really hate the soft top. It makes so much noise as you drive in the highway. They limit the noise with this top. They make it a trillion times easier to remove compared to the non-powered tops. And speaking of ease to remove, let's hop out into this cargo space, show you what I mean by the removable rear windows. I'm not gonna actually remove them because it's basically impossible with one hand, but opening it up right here, we can open up this glass too which is also a nice feature in and of itself. You can fold those rear seats down, leave this glass open, and throw some kayaks back here, which you just also can't do with a lot of SUVs nowadays unless you throw it on top of the roof. But speaking of these rear quarter windows, you simply fold these latches down. There's 2 of them. You just push the window out with the rear doors open. It's a super easy process. We can shut that up though. The floor back here, not the largest, but comparable with most other compact to mid-size SUVs. You fold the rear seats down, I'd expect you to fit a 60, maybe a 65-inch TV back here. Not the most spacious, but definitely a respectable amount of space. Additional 12 volts, so if you have an electrically cooled cooler, you can plug it in and have all your food nice and cool for the road trip or off-road trip, depending on what you have going on that day. Secret storage, for a plug-in hybrid, it's rare to see secret storage, but we get it here. What you see is basically what we get. If we didn't mention the Boomin' Alpine subwoofer in the back too, helps the sound system sound really good. We can drop this glass right down. Everything is manually opening and closing, to be expected with this price point. We have some instructions back here, some specifications between the 2-door wheelbase, 4-door, 35-inch tires, waterboarding, water fording, made in the USA, Auburn Hills, Michigan, built in Toledo, Ohio since 1941. Sweet. We can drop this or close this trunk right up. Full-size spare, if we didn't mention, really nice SUV overall. From the outside, hopefully you can pick up what it looks like with the roof down. It doesn't look quite as cool as the actual soft top roof, but from the inside, who cares? As long as the roof is actually hidden away, that's all I really care. But I think that package is really important. Performance-wise, we have 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. Let's take this car for a drive and see what it's got. All right guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Willys 4xe. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. So right now we're in pure electric mode, getting to highway speeds with no problem at all. The pedal's responsive, and once we're at highway speeds, you hear a little bit of wind noise, but compared to some other Wranglers or Broncos I reviewed in this channel, this is one of the quietest off-road SUVs that I've been in so far, and that says a lot considering that there's literally a rag up top isolating you from the actual wind. Ride quality, it feels good with these super thick 75 series all-terrain mud tires. We'll see how the brake pedal feels. The regenerative braking works quite a bit. We don't even have to touch the brake pedal for quite some time, and thanks to the regenerative braking, the brake pedal feels really responsive. Taking a step out here, throw it in a little quicker than we should. Body roll's limited for a Wrangler. About half throttle, good torque. And there's like still a transmission even in pure EV mode. That's cool. I haven't felt many EVs that actually give you the sensation of a transmission, but we have that here. We'll see if we can try a little rolling start. Check out the torque on the gas. Okay, kicks in the engine. Okay, so full throttle kicks in the engine even in pure electric mode. And yeah, we're still in pure electric mode according to the buttons. We'll throw it back into hybrid. And then we get a little label in the infotainment saying hybrid mode automatically adapts to the environment. So right now we're still in pure EV mode even though it's in hybrid. One thing I'm noticing though is the steering reminds me a little bit of the older Wrangler still. It doesn't really like to stay going straight the entire time. A lot of corrections involved. That may have something to do with the tires. Just my first impressions, but thanks to these tires, the ride quality is fantastic. You guys saw the way this thing ran over those rocks. It's like they're not even there. Yeah guys, the regenerative braking here is ridiculous. I haven't even touched the brake pedal yet. We'll see if it gets to a complete stop. We don't. We have to actually touch it for the complete stop. But taking a step out here, still in 2-wheel drive, we'll lean into it about halfway. Boost. Oh my gosh, yeah, this thing can move. We don't have to push it a whole lot farther than that because the steering is definitely not sports car steering, but we'll still see how this thing can hit these twisties and turnies. The brakes feel great thanks to the regen braking. We don't have to step on the brakes. Steering feels very light, but surprisingly predictable through the turn considering how loopy it was in a straight line on the gas. Boost, there we go. It takes a second, but once that boost kicks in, this is a surprisingly fast SUV. No, it's not as fast as the 392, but the 392 is not going to get this level of fuel economy. So if you want a middle ground between really good performance and good fuel economy, this is probably the best way you're going to go if you want an off-road SUV. All right guys, we'll try an acceleration out off the line. 4-wheel drive auto, no brake torque, just on the gas. Boost, oh yeah. Okay, guys, this thing can move. I can see 0 to 60 happening possibly quicker than 5 seconds if you get a great launch. And the beauty of four-wheel drive auto, we can turn the steering wheel, leave it in four-wheel drive. It doesn't lock any differentials up. It doesn't even lock the four-wheel drive. We can still use two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive auto. It just steps in as a four-wheel drive system in emergency situations, like if you have just too much wheel spin. So it's really similar to a conventional all-wheel drive system in four-wheel drive auto. But personally, I'd rather leave it in two-wheel drive because you get the 4xe to get the best overall fuel economy, and I'm sure the four-wheel drive auto will still compromise a little bit of the fuel economy. But the regenerative braking here, I'm telling you, you don't even have to step on the brakes through these twisties. But with this turbocharged power plant, there's a little bit too much lag for my liking. I kind of wish we went with a 3.6 liter V6 here instead of the 2 liter turbo, only because of the instant response. But other than that, guys, really no complaints. The performance is excellent. The ride quality is so much better than I remember from Wranglers in the past, probably thanks to these off-road tires. The steering, it's not perfect on center, but compared to Wranglers from 5-10 years ago, it is miles ahead. So overall, if you're looking for an off-road capable vehicle, you want to get over 20-25 mpgs, but you still want to do 0 to 60 around 5 seconds, if not quicker, this is probably the best way to go. One more twisty, brakes feel great. A little faster than we should, but the body roll is surprisingly limited for a Wrangler and coming out. Yeah. Once that boost does kick in, this is a fast SUV. And at speed, as we mentioned earlier, way quieter than the soft top Wrangler. It might be quieter than a hardtop Ford Bronco, honestly. I haven't driven a hardtop Wrangler yet, but compared to a hardtop Ford Bronco, this is actually quieter. All right, guys, taking a step out into this multiple lane highway, we can lean into it one more time and then wrap things up. So on the gas. Boost. Oh, yeah. Yeah, guys, this thing can get up and go. And yeah, at faster highway speeds, you start to hear the wind noise a little bit. But it's nothing unbearable. It's actually surprisingly quieter than a lot of other off-road SUVs reviewed in this channel. Overall, guys, if you're looking for an off-road SUV, you need it to be fast. You have no patience for slow acceleration, and you also have no patience for stopping at a gas station every other day. I would definitely recommend checking out the 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Check out the Willys too. You can save serious money compared to going with a Rubicon. You still get the off-road components as far as the tires, the skid plates. You just don't get the locking front axle. You don't get the extra wide beefy tires, and you don't get 33s. You got to sell with the 32s. But when you're saving $5,000-10,000 bucks, I would settle for all those unless you actually plan on taking the SUV off-road consistently. If you think you're only going to take the car off-road like once, twice a year, save your money, go for the Willys. But the 4xe, great performer, great efficiency. I would definitely recommend checking it out. And a big thanks to Mike at Furman Jeep in Newport Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Newport Richey area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and ask for Mike. And huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you'd like to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.